Okay, this is going to be the reading for Pisces for the month of March. I got a lot of different decks I'm dealing with here. I got a new deck, the Divine Tarot, and some regular ones that I've always used, Dreams of Gaia, Chakra Wisdom, Wisdom House of Night cards, and Soul TLC and Planetary. So this is what I'm dealing with. Okay. So I'm going to get right to it. It's a spiritual reading, so you might want to look into the spiritual energies overall for the collective here. I did an energy report for that already. So that will lay on top of your specific sign reading. Okay, so Pisces, here we go. First card in the Gaia deck. We have the Mother. 4. So this speaks to love, compassion, fertility. This woman is pregnant. So this could also speak to birthing of new ideas and whatnot. The end of her scepter there looks like a light bulb to me, and that's the sense they're giving me, is they're illuminating that and saying, you know, yes, we have a lot of ideas, maybe either running through our mind or we're fertile with this. And the sense is that we have this woman sitting here in a relaxed state, but the light bulb is on. So there's a sense here of lots of ideas, and a sense that we might, you know, bring some of those forward. Again, they're showing me the tortoise is, the sense here is no panic about anything that we're coming across here. Yeah. But the light bulb is on, and it'd be like the Ace of Wands is what they're making me feel here. So it's very much the Pisces may be in a mode here where we're gathering up our resources. There's no panic, but ideas are coming forth, and one of them is gonna, you know, strike our fancy so we can move forward. And the next card, we have the Body Mind card, 11 of Air. Yeah, give me a minute here while they're showing me all the colors in these little flowerets all around here. It's almost like the cycle of time. They want, yeah, like a clock. Yeah. Connecting to the ideas, right? The first card, this is very much playing off the first card of all of these ideas. And again, a body mind, there might be a disconnection here. It might be a lack of movement on all of these ideas going forward, but nonetheless they're rolling around in there, rolling around in our mind. We just either, I don't get like a high energy of desire either way. We may have a lack of desire to act on this, is the sense I get, but lots of ideas, lots of things going on. We may have, making me aware of the divide of the mind here. Now Pisces, right, their symbol is two fish going in opposite directions. So that may be part of the problem here. We may be having a lot of ideas, but may not have a lot that is succinct in the way that we could go forward. Yeah, I could, or no, I can't. Like this kind of passivity in a way, or not feeling driven really either way, although there's a lot of good stuff rolling around in there. Okay, it's really what I'm getting. Next card, the 9 of Fire. Ah, yeah. So that is the heart, right? That is the rose is really a symbol of love and compassion and being awakened to the third eye here, and also connected to the sacral or solar. It almost looks like the solar plexus, but it's yellow. Give me a moment. Yeah, they keep saying self-love, right? So we may be working on this, our own love of self, really. And this may be why we may need some work in the either yellow or orange sacral or solar plexus area, right? And again, very highly connected, those two. Yeah, give me a minute. I feel like the sense they're giving me is that we may not have enough self-worth to drive us forward in any way of passion whatsoever. Okay, I'm going to just leave that sit there. And then we're going to continue on to the second row of cards here. From the Wisdom House of Night, we get number 2, the Warrior. Now, we have the Mother and we have the Warrior. I feel like this is a pair. This may be someone who's coming in or someone who is in your sphere at the moment. The Warrior, you know what? They're giving me a sense to read from the book, so I'm going to do that. Because a good-natured human being here, someone that is for our highest good and whatnot. It says here, when the Warrior appears to you, it is such a fortunate sign that no matter what is happening in your life, you are truly protected. So whatever you're experiencing, all will be well. If your question is regarding love, this card represents someone who's deeply committed, protective, and kind to you. Friendship and love are sacred, and those qualities are important for a relationship to grow. This person does not have these qualities, then move on. For I will send you someone with a true warrior spirit instead. Remember, life is about learning and discerning who is true and who is not. And there is another message here to consider. Do you embody these qualities in yourself? Now is a good time to think about how committed you are to your path. That's interesting because how committed you are to yourself. They're amplifying the energy here of self-love. And how we haven't hit the precipice here where there's enough of that to drive us forward. So we may have some work in this area, right? Of needing, or how do you say? Needing to bring up self-esteem here to a degree that we desire to go forward to reach our goals. It's kind of a convoluted message. May not make sense to some, but the sense here is we just don't have enough self-worth to bring us forward to where we want to go. Now the Warrior, I feel like, is a person coming in. Maybe in this month, or maybe someone who is already in your field that is good-natured and good for you. The sense, too, they said within the book here, was that if they are not there now, all you need to do is ask and they will be brought forth. So I'll continue. On the body-mind card here, again, I was feeling a separation. They're showing a divide, and not a yin-yang, not a balanced divide, but a harsh divide between body and mind, meaning our mind is fertile and full of ideas, but our body just doesn't want to act on it, is really what I'm getting. We don't want to take action in this way as of yet, and it has to do with our desire and whatnot. So on top of that, we get the High Priestess of Air. And you know what? I'm going to read from her as well. I tend to forget the main focus here. Like I'm not getting a lot here. The air is about, there's a lot of air, so you may be a Pisces on the air cusp, Aquarius. This may strike you more, this reading, if you were in that way. So in the February end. Okay, 6. Rational thought, logical thinking, reasoning. Consider the right action. The next right action are qualities encouraged by the High Priestess of Air. Now is the time to think before you act. You're blessed with wondrous mind and imagination, and I feel that highly here. Your ability to communicate is enhanced when you meet the High Priestess of Air. This is a moment to have reasonable conversations and make calculated decisions. So again, it just, that body-mind complex here, sense is just there's a lot going on in the mind, period. Okay, very complex calculations going on up in there. In the sense that we may not be communicating with anybody about this. Okay, that's really what I'm getting. Now on the fire card here, the 9, having to do with the self and the self-love and working on that. Again, we may be getting help clairvoyantly, intuitively in that way, in order to deal with this, or it is bringing about scenarios that we could take action on. On top of that, we have loyalty. Where do our loyalties lie? Right? Within ourselves. I feel like they're breaking it down. It's not a partner here, is a sense I get for most of the Pisces here. And if there's a partner, we're dealing with ourselves at this time, exclusively. So the sense I'm getting is, how loyal are we to ourselves is the utmost importance, is what they want to say. Give me a minute. Yeah, and our ideas, they said, as well as not only to ourselves being loyal, but true to our ideas that we get. And the sense here is the Pisces is very gifted in the third eye area, so your clairvoyance, yeah, your ability to see intuitively into things. This is what's going to help you at this time move forward. Okay, I feel like this is how, for most of the Pisces here, this is how the energies are connecting to you, is through third eye. So that's visuals, pictures in your mind's eye, things that play out visually. You know, this could go all the way to dream time as well. They're going, yes, for some, this is exclusively where we hook up. You know, in the dream time, very much, because a lot of people, right, too busy in the day to take in. So when we let our eyes rest, our physical eyes rest, then the mind goes into that realm. Okay, next line. We go back to the mother energy, which the warrior was placed on top of that to symbolize another figure coming forth here for our highest good. We get the Empress. Well, okay, the Empress from the Divine Tarot. That is about purity. So I feel the sense here they're giving me is that we have a Divine Mother, which may be, if you're a Pisces female, this may be you in your divine energy. You are now prepared to go forward to the masculine divine. So this may be a partnership coming to be at this time, or in the air nonetheless, because there's a lot of air here, so it might just be in our thoughts. We may have manifested something here that is about to come to fruition. And the Empress is good energy, especially from this divine deck. There's a very pure mind process that wants to come forward. We are maybe learning how to let go of repressed energy, right? Maybe learning this. You have to. With the Empress, you really do have to harness that in some way. You have to get rid of the repressed energy in order to come forth clean and pure. So the Empress sitting on top of the warrior is really, the sense they're giving me is there's a warrior out there that sees that purity within you and wants to come forth in order to, out of curiosity, like, what is this? And I need to know about this. I want to know. Curiosity towards the Empress is what I'm getting. Okay, next line, where we're talking about the body-mind complex, the High Priestess of Air. What do we get to clarify there? The Hermit. What do you know? That's really about taking the mind and utilizing it in all ways to figure out, going inside of ourselves to figure out the outside, or whatever, our thoughts, our emotions, our our ideas, right? We're going inside, and the sense they're giving me with this is that we may have been in reclusive energy for a while, and we're going to be ready to come out soon. Like, we're coming to our conclusion here in this way, is what I'm getting. So the Hermit symbolizing there's a lot of thoughts going on, very active, so it's going to be fertile. When we come out of Hermit mode, we're going to be ready to act, or to take action in whatever way we come to the conclusion of, because there's very much a rational mind that is being utilized. So when we come out, we're going to be fully prepared with all that's gone through. Okay, so the next card, yeah, on the 9 of fire, this guy who's holding the rose high. The sense that I get here is that we're trying to deal with putting our heart at the center of our own lives. And through this, right, is the opening of, either the opening of, the expansion of, or the utilization of the third eye in this way. Now, the loyalty, really, they go, put the energy right back on the Pisces for that. They go, this has nothing to do with loyalties outside of us. It has to do with how loyal we are to ourselves and our thoughts and what we want to go forward in. On top of that, we get the Ten of Swords. Okay, so that tells me, right, we may be, give me a minute to clarify, because there's a direction I'm getting from the universal energies, like we have to look at ourselves. But the Ten of Swords is going, but look at all the stuff that's going on around us. Look at how much trauma has happened. You know, this is kind of a grotesque card here, the 10. This guy's trying to get in the boat, and the guy's like chopping his fingers off to get him out of the boat. So we may have had a lot of stabs in the back by other people. People trying to attack us in certain ways. This is a very violent card. Loyalties. We have no loyalties around us. So that's the sense here, is that we're shut out by ourselves because of the lack of loyalty outside of us. Okay? And because of this, there's self-discoveries nonetheless. And they're going, yeah, this contributed to the whole closing out of the outside world and going inside to figure out, okay, what is it? What the hell's going on here? People chopping my fingers off because they don't want me in the boat, kind of thing. And beyond the reasoning of why they did what they did, we just have to worry about why we're doing what we're doing. Keep our mind clean, right? Because when we worry about why other people do certain things, you can't figure it out. You may not ever figure it out. It may make sense to you, it may not. But it may be futile to go there, is the sense they're giving me. It's like, why? Because there may be someone here caught up on why people do certain things, and we may never figure that out. So we have to let that go. We have to focus on ourselves and the loyalty of ourselves, because it is disloyal to ourselves to focus on an energy that has no intent on coming in our direction or to help us in any way, shape, or form. So why waste your energy worrying about people that don't worry about you, kind of thing? Yeah, there's a bit of that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the last line here, where I have the wisdom, chakra wisdom cards. So again, on the Mother and the Warrior and the Empress, I feel like the Pisces is working into their Empress energy, trying to clear the mind and get, we've had a lot of struggle and strife go on in our lives. People stabbing us in the back or wanting to keep us down, where it is really hard to keep the peace of mind, is the sense I'm getting. So this is the challenge, or this is what they're overcoming, really. This time they're starting, I think the Pisces are finally starting to see why, because they're being guided. Everybody's evolving mentally, and they're starting to see through people's motives, and even though we may not understand specifically what it is this one person did, we're starting to see in other areas why this has happened and whatnot. And who, you know, being discerning, who to spend our time and who not to on this kind of thing. So the last card there, on top of the Empress energy, is the Star. Yeah, and what do you know, right? There's a heart made up of stars that this woman is wanting to come from. I feel it's interesting. We start with a green, a grounded card from the Gaia deck, and we end with the Star, which is grounded as well. And the sense they're going is, we are going to ground in our heart, and that is going to help us move forward. We may have been tempted to go outward. How do I say? I gotta watch how I say that. May have been tempted to leave our heart. Let's put it that way. To leave our heart center. But we have taken ourselves back from the action, so to speak, and we've realized here that we do have a good core to come from, and we're going to embellish that. We're going to exploit that. Exploit the heart in that way. Like, exploiting is a bad word. But this is what I feel the Pisces is felt like. They felt like everybody exploited them. And that may have been true. But the allowance of it, right? So now we're by ourselves. The sense I get is a solitary energy from the Pisces. We're really on our own trying to figure it out, and we're going to figure it out. And once we do, don't you dare think of coming back in his direction without prior notification, like, you got to get a password. Yeah, everything's password protected here. And really the password is heart and love and compassion, because if you do not carry that, you do not go. So that is the first line. It's very much the Pisces moving into the Empress energy. And why? Coming from our heart. We've been through a lot of hell and back. Times two, they said. So now we're going to try and heal and move forward. And the Empress energy is really about feeling and healing. She came out in my energy reading. So going back to my overall energy reading would help you as well. So that's a good, it's really the symbol of hope that, you know, I may have been kind of, they're showing me people kind of like Pisces being on a pedestal, right? Because they're the ones that are kind of up in that world without even knowing they're up in that world of heavenly, what do you call it? Feelings and emotions and all that. They're halfway there. So what they're showing me is the Pisces on that pedestal, and everybody's climbing over top everybody else to exploit that, to get what they can off the Pisces. And this is what the Pisces say: no more. No more. Okay? So that's really their lesson that they've learned here, and now they're thinking about how they're gonna go forward in a different way. So okay, the next card, the body mind complex, the High Priestess of Air, talking about grounded, rational thinking. This is what the Pisces is doing in order to gain strength to move forward. The Hermit, bringing it all inside to make sure that we make the most grounded, logical decisions. On top of that, we get the Five of Coins at the end here. You know what? This is kind of drawing a blank for me here. Five of Coins is usually about leaving people out in the cold. Here we have a mother and a child, and the sense is more of protection, right? Like, she's looking out, like, don't nobody come because I'm going to protect this child. Like, she's looking out for the child, and the child's looking back at her. It's not a regular energy I get from the Five of Coins. It's usually about feeling down and out financially. Now, give me a moment. Again, starting with a blue card, blue hue, and ending with a blue hue. And a blue is about throat chakra, about speaking, because I can't spit it out. but I don't feel, I feel it's protection. And I'm going to leave it at that. I feel like we're going inside as it's kind of a form of protection. Because we feel safe inside with the energies, right? Going back with whoever we're connected with on the interior. And we're just hanging out with, you know, me and the universe. We're just hanging out. That's it. And we're going to do that until we feel safe to come out. And I don't know, are they feeling not safe to come out? There's more knowledge there than they had initially, and we do feel like we have an idea that our heart is going to lead the way somehow. But I feel like there's a sense here of either needing protection, wanting protection, or being in protective mode. This is kind of where they're at. Okay, on the last line here, the 9 of fire, again embellishing the heart area here, and then talking about loyalties and the universe stressing our loyalty is to us and nobody outside. This is the thing, we may have let other people, we may have been loyal to other people outside of us, one that didn't deserve it, and two that didn't utilize, like we should never have given the loyalty outward in that way, because these people were not loyal to us. And therefore the 10 of Swords comes along, and you know, people start ripping our fingers off as we're needing help. We need help to come in, and they're just not there for us. So this may have been a situation that you're seeing in your real life at this time. Your real life, I'm saying, like in your physical world. People taking advantage of that. Now, the last of that line is the 6 of Cups. And this is kind of a melancholy card in this deck. The 6 of Cups speaks to past energy, but here it kind of speaks to, give me a minute. Yeah, of not knowing what to do with all of this. We got ideas to, you know, it's almost, I'm getting like a 7 of Cups feel, like confusion, but confusion of emotion rather than what to do. It's a confusion of how to feel is the sense, because we've had so much treachery in our past, people trying to mess us up really, and as we go forward here, we're just kind of not sure how we're going to do that with the greatest of heart after what we've been through. You know, it's pretty raw stuff here with the 10 of Swords there. It's pretty raw. And you come out of that situation and you got to have heart and compassion. It takes a strong person to do that, to truly do that, right? So this is the sense here. We know mentally what we need to do, but it's harder to, it's easy to say, yeah, I have to come from compassion at this point when I've been through hell and back and been, you know, had chaos in my life to a degree, people holding me back or me letting them hold back, you know, this kind of thing. Yeah, I get kind of a neutral energy from the 6 of Cups card. It's like, you know, and there's no tipping point here for the Pisces. I feel like they're reclusing away from society, from people, from relationships, whatever, from people at work, people in our life, people in our family. We're going away from that. Why? Because this is not serving us. In fact, some of them have created great pain within us. And because of that, we're kind of sitting in neutral, thinking and going over what is intuitively being gifted to us. We feel safer in this mode of not dealing with anybody. May have animal companions that we're, you know, paying more attention to at this time. You're getting all our love, right? Because it's safer than a human who has all these opinions and bitterness and resentment and da-da-da. Because a lot of this time, too, as well, is going to be about venting of emotions that have not been vented. And they are not going to come out clean. it's going to be dirty. It's going to get dirty. So if we are repressing, or we are one to repress, you know, how do you say repress? They're going, explain that. So if you're the type of person that you maybe had a death, or you had a relationship, whatever, and then you go to cry about it, or something on, maybe on a movie reminds you of it, or something you see, something reminds you, it triggers a memory, and you start to cry, and you clam up, and you go, nope, I gotta get down to business, and that's repressing energy. And you don't ever make time for that, like later in the day before you go to bed. You don't lay down and let that feeling continue to wash over you, even though it is a bad, upsetting, not a bad, it's a feeling, it's there for a reason. So if we do not indulge in that, they will come out in ways that are very inappropriate later. This is the later, and it's going to be inappropriate. So be aware of that. Try to vent out as much as you can. That's really my mantra. And I know it for me as well. It's hard because I have, you know, as society brings us up to be emotionally strong, what they say, when in fact it is repression. And that has nothing to do with strength whatsoever. That takes away your power. So this is what we got to learn to reverse. And this is what I've, you know, as an adult, like as a youth and adult, I worked my way through this to finally master what I thought was the betterment, and it actually was tearing my soul apart. So this is the whole thing. You got to reverse that and start feeling. And what people say is makes you weak actually does empower you. And this is the great, how do you say, great mystery here, because it is empowering to feel your emotions, because, and at this time, and this energy shift that we're going through, it's going to be very combustible at this time if we're repressing and continue to repress stuff. If we haven't worked out that loop yet, it's really going to be hard on us. So there's areas there that are going to spout out, and not in a good way. So this means like disruptions where we lose our shit, so to speak, really, is what it is. It's like we lose our cool. Why couldn't I keep myself calm? Well, this is why, because you had repressed energy and you didn't let it go. You didn't cry it out, because really it is sadness. You know, a lot of times repressed sadness turns to anger, and then it increases from there. So this is part of that. Okay, so I'm off on a tangent. So that's your reading. Now I'll give you your bumper cards here. I have a planetary card and a TLC card. So we'll do the planetary card first. Oh my Lord. This is now, I've only done 2 readings so far. Virgo. And this is the second one is Pisces. Now Virgo got this clarification. I shuffled that puppy like you wouldn't believe. A change of heart. Eclipse in Taurus. 26 is the number. Bringing to 8. Again, infinity. Talks about re-evaluation. Eclipses are stop and start energy. Taurus is a bull. They like to charge forward. I feel like the Pisces is really in a mode where they may be repressing the ability to go forward here. And I feel like it's due to how do you say, like being unsure of, they've got a lot, again, guided highly. So any of those areas that you got going up in your head there, any of those areas, if we're tapped into our intuition, they're fertile. They're areas you can go. Again, we need to keep our heart in mind. We need to keep our heart in mind. I'll leave it at that. That says it all right there. Because we're going from logic to trying to take our heart out. I think this is the tipping point the Pisces is at. They're like, you know what? I could shut my heart down like everybody else shutting their heart down. But they know better. Pisces, they know better. They're not going to get very far if they do that. They're certainly not going to gain love in the future. So they're trying to evaluate here, how do I do this as I go forward? And I feel like it's the first step of action that they're coming into is like they know they got to heal their heart in order to go forward. in compassion, and that's really where it comes. Now, change of heart. We may have, this whole situation of what rooted from here, what drew us into ourselves, I feel may have been a situation that we had to flip gears on. Meaning, may have had a business partnership, a relationship, or something that we had to flip a switch on. Meaning, I was going left, now I gotta go right. Or, I like this person, now suddenly I don't like this person. This kind of thing is what's going on. Why? Because they're coming from our heart and our compassion. We're realizing that something don't jive here. So our mind has done a lot of thinking, and we're really, from this point on, going to be looking at loyalties and making damn sure that we are the priority here, not the other person. And that's the change of heart, because the other person was the priority over us, and now we're starting to change that. Your TLC card for the month. Sing your song. Yeah, it says transform your worries into love notes for your divine friend. For your divine friend to offer to the world. Let your deepest feelings inspire the composition of new harmony. Recognize this is another form of sacred expression of your soul's desire to remember the answer to life's most important questions. Why am I here? Am I living according to my true nature? Am I offering enough love to a torn world? Inspiration is seeking you in order to transport your heart out of its slumber of forgetfulness into beauty of your spirit's true song. It's interesting how these cards are really capturing the whole essence of the reading. First of all, am I living to my true nature? And then how they say, am I offering enough love to a torn world? And the torn world sits high because it's like people may have kind of torn up the Pisces quite a bit on their way out of something. Meaning, I feel, I'm feeling highly the Pisces spirit of gentleness and openness, and it's almost like I got a sunburn and people are just scratching all over it, and they don't realize, right? They don't realize you got a sunburn, but they're scratching like you don't have one. And that's the thing, is like there's a sensitive nature here. It's not being paid attention to, and Pisces may be at fault because they may be not explaining their side of things. They may be taking all the pain and going, ouch, 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 but not saying don't do that, or don't, so there may be a barrier problem, or how you say, boundary problem here, where we not setting up enough boundaries. But again, transporting the heart out of a slumber. And I feel like this is, again, what the Pisces know. They're too smart for this. They know they can't put their heart to bed. They can't put it to bed. They have to wake it up. So, how do you do that? And I feel like Sing Your Song is really about speaking forth what you feel rather than holding it all back and repressing, right? 'Cause that's that swear word, repress. Holding back? No. In either way, in passion or in pain, you need to speak from it so that that person knows that it hurts you. Therefore, if they do it again, then you're more aware. Because if you don't put that boundary up, you go, oh, well, they don't know, so, people that are kind of, what do you call that, walk all over people, they just love people like Pisces, because they weasel out of responsibility so easily with the Pisces that's not evolved. If you're evolved, you have limits and boundaries, and as soon as you set those up, that creates the safety net that you need in order to move forward. And I feel like that's maybe what some of the Pisces are needing at this time, is some boundaries, or boundaries against certain people for sure, and then in order to make them feel more safe to be unbounded with their love zone. So anyway, Sing Your Song is the TLC card, And a change of heart is the planetary card. There's a reevaluation here of how we've gone in the past and done things. And we're going to go forward. And I feel some may be in a mode where they're going to speak more promptly. If you're stepping over a boundary, I'm going to speak up more clearly, more quickly than I have in the past. Anybody that's treaded on me before, it will never be the same, because I will never be like that again. I will be, from now on, singing my song. And if you are going to tread on my, on my path, you're going to know. You're walking on my seeds, you're going to know. That kind of thing. That's the reevaluation, and it's just a matter of time before they come out. I feel like they're feeling very comfortable in being reclusive. The Pisces could, because that is the safety, but their challenge is to come out swinging in the heart department, and they'll be doing fine. So that is the Pisces reading for March of 2021. Take care, have fun, be kind, and I'll see you next month.